So people have been getting a bit excited after my last post, and people are interpreting the new legislation that has been predicted to come in this summer. And for those of you that haven't seen any of that, I'll just give a short recap. But Michael Gove has suggested that come this summer, the rules on short-term rental are going to change, and the main headlines of these changes are that there's going to be a new use class for serviced accommodation / short-term rental, and in the vast majority of cases you're going to be able to change from C3, which is normal flats and houses, to C5, which is the new use class being proposed in England. It's C6 in Wales, and you can do that under permitted development, going from C3 to C5. Now, also that you can go from C5 back to C3 under permitted development, unless the local authority put in an Article 4 type restriction, meaning that you would need to apply for planning permission in order to do that. Having said that, any already up and running existing furnished holiday let / short-term rentals will be able to continue doing so, because they will have grandfather rights to continue. So don't get Article 4 HMO mixed up with the new Article 4 type restriction that they're proposing. They haven't called it Article 4 yet, so I can't actually call it that. But it's going to be similar, where they'll put a restriction in place. But a lot of people are thinking that if there's an Article 4 area for HMOs in their town, then that Article 4 will also apply to going from C3 to C5. That is not the case. It will be a different Article 4 type restriction. Okay, now the main bit of confusion, and I've had people posting in the comments, is part of the new wording is that you will not need planning if you want to do serviced accommodation or short-term rental in your own or second home, and you can do it up to 90 days in a calendar year without the requirement for planning. Now, the clue in this is that it's your own or second home they are likely to put that 90-day restriction in, not a 90-day restriction for a furnished holiday let / short-term rental that is not your home. Hopefully that makes sense. So if it's your own home or second home, you will be able to do short-term rental in it for up to 90 days in the calendar year without the need for planning. But any other property that isn't your home or second home, there's going to be no restriction on that. You could be letting it out, the most of the year, 300 odd days of the year, and not need planning because it's not your home or second home. Now, some people are getting confused with the 90-day rule in London. And the 90-day rule in London states that you can do serviced accommodation and on any property, but only up to 90 days in a calendar year, and then anything after that you would need planning. Okay, so please don't get confused between the 90-day rule in London and the new proposed 90-day rule outside of London. Any questions on that, just ask. But the wording is very clear on this, and so I'm still predicting the odd person jumping on saying no, you're wrong, but the wording is clear. So hopefully that clears that up, guys. Like I say, if you do have any questions, let me know. The Article 4 type restriction that may come in, what government have said is that that's only likely to happen in pinch point tourist type areas where there are relatively small populations and there's too many Airbnbs. I've always advocated doing serviced accommodation in larger towns and cities where there's all year round demand, not just seasonal demand. So I'm not too worried about that coming in. Remember, grandfather rights exist, but I don't think that there's going to be any Article 4 happening in the larger towns and cities, or at least it's not going to be blanket across the whole of the town and city. But, that remains to be seen. We'll see exactly what happens. Remember, local authorities, they want tourism, don't they? They want visitors. They want to be feeding the local economy. So they'd be silly to just wipe out Airbnb completely. So I don't think you need to worry too much about that. Any questions, let me know in the comments. Here's to your success in serviced accommodation. Remember, from me, the property soldier, your future needs you. Take care.